The Red Dirt D&D podcast is brought to you by Pro Laser Cuts. The Oklahoma company provides pre-made and customizable design laser cut dice towers, tokens, and more, developed by a gamer for gamers, and now available to enhance your tabletop game. Pro Laser Cuts products can be found at many Oklahoma City area game stores, local events, and now available online at prolasercuts.com. That's laser and cuts with a Z, Pro Laser Cuts. And by SD Way Gaming, where dice goblins unite. Our friends at SD Way Gaming celebrate the beautiful dice players handpick for their games and splendor. SD Way Gaming has expanded to include many tabletop gaming varieties, accessories, and similar fun necessities to include a service for your dice addiction. You can shop for a variety of products at sdwaygaming.com or find SD Way Gaming on Facebook. Welcome to Red Dirt D&D. I'm Michael Cross, and I play Gideon Block, a paladin of Daga, bringing her justice to the wilds of Ritoya.
I'm Connor Shenold, and I play Konnor with a K, the Kobold Sorcerer who's finally out of the bag.
I'm Johnny Payne, and I play Zonimus Dinar, a roguish warlock controlling his fate with chaos.
I'm Kiri Hester, and I play Poppy Tealeaf, a high-born halfling druid who has forsaken her family for the call of the frontier.
I'm Brooke Bullock, and I play Mockrin Stoneshaper, a young dwarf sorcerer wielding his arcane gifts to delve into the mysteries of the wilderness.
And I'm Ash King, your dungeon master. Join us now for Tales from the Caravan Frontier. While all of the chaos with the caravan is happening outside of the mesa, Konnor, you were on your merry little coyote way, heading towards the mesa to go do some scouting, when all of a sudden, it's the strangest thing. You fall out of this coyote form, and suddenly you're a kobold again.
So yeah, like, the cadence of running gets a little bit slower, and then I look down at my legs that are now into my more familiar claw shape, and I'm just like, oh, well, all right then. And I take a moment to look around me. How far have I made it towards the mesa?
I would say in the span of time from when you started running to now, maybe 15 minutes have passed since you started headed out.
Okay.
Because it did take time for the caravan, because from when they spotted it to when it arrived at the point where they ambushed it, it did take some time. So I would say you've made about 15 minutes. You would have about 45 more minutes to get to the mesa. Okay. If you decided to head on.
So yeah, I'm gonna keep heading on. We were doing this at night, right?
It was the sun was slowly starting to descend, so it's getting a little more twilight conditions.
Okay.
It's not full dark sunset just yet, but it's close.
Okay.
Since you're headed to the west and you are in the shadow of this mesa, I would say that you're not in direct sunlight, so your kobold senses, it's not as intense as it would be.
Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna kind of take these things into consideration and keep pressing on, keeping a close eye, like the closer I get, to see if like anybody's around or doing anything.
Okay. Go ahead and
before I get right up there.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a perception check.
Okay. That's a 3.
3. All right. So, yes, as far as you know,
all right.
All's quiet on the western frontier.
Okay. Yeah, I'll keep pressing on before I get about, I'd say good maybe 20 minutes out from the mesa.
Okay.
Before I will pop my invisibility on myself.
Okay. Yeah, you continue on the journey going through, and you're a small creature traveling by yourself, so it is super easy for you to like kind of duck and weave and like find little crevices and places to pause and hide for a minute as you're trying to make sure that there's no one around, no one's following you. And just before you make it to the mesa, and just before you're about to pop your invisibility, you hear a twig break behind you.
I whirl around to see what it is.
You see crouching there, almost stunned at the oopsie. It's a dragonborn, green dragonborn.
Green? Nice. Okay.
They freeze, dagger in one hand.
I, real quick, draw my own dagger, since apparently they're being hostile. And in Draconic, I just hiss out, "What are you doing? Why are you following me?"
What are you doing? Why are you approaching the mesa?
To figure out what's happening here.
I can tell you what's happening here.
Well, then do that.
The smooth skins invaded.
You couldn't hold down your own home?
We were surprised, taken completely. They came in great force.
How'd they know about this place?
I don't know. The red one seemed to know.
Oh, I've seen the red one.
And we had seen the red one before, just briefly.
So is that like a few months ago that you saw him?
Yes, that's not quite a full year.
Okay.
But then he came back.
He was with someone, right?
Well, the first time, yes, he was just with one person.
Okay.
And then the second time, he was with many people.
Okay. So, what are you doing back here? Why haven't you gone on with the rest of them?
I've been trying to keep an eye. There are still others trapped.
Do you know what they're doing in the mesa? The Smoothskins?
I have not been able to. I've been too frightened to actually go back, but I have been watching and hoping. But you are the first one I have seen. You are of Thundercrack.
Yes.
Does she know of our plight?
I don't think so. But I can be of help to you and to your others. As well as I'm journeying with some people.
Smoothskins?
Yes.
You are a far braver one than I.
Well, you do what you have to, right? So, I'm here to figure out what's happening inside, but I'm just scouting right now. Do you want to join me?
Yes, I will go with you.
Alright, I can trust you, right?
Of course.
Alright.
You are one of us.
Exactly. So, I'll take a few minutes to, make sure we're extra hidden behind, some rocks or something like that before I tell them, okay, here's how long we're going to scout around the outside for, and then to meet back at this location. And then I mark drawing into the dirt with a little stick that I found, or on my claw, okay, so the mesa's here, and the road that leads up to it, right? And then some ways away, about an hour out, there's some bushes, and meet up here later, all right? With what information you've gathered. Do you have your own ways of being extra stealthy, or do you need some help?
I will do my best.
All right. I don't trust that, so I'm going to use a 3rd level spell slot, so casting it a bit higher, to reach out and touch them and myself with invisibility.
Oh, good. You are one of the blessed ones.
Yes. Now you should be able to get around a lot better. So meet back up. Hopefully I'll have made it there first. So when you see me, feel free to come out whenever, but we can trust the Smoothskins that I'm with.
Safe travels.
You too. And then I'll start going around to try and scout this place out.
Okay. Go ahead and just give me another perception check.
Okay. Since I'm spending kind of my time being extra sure to pay close attention to stuff, can I get advantage, or do you just want a straight one?
I'll allow it.
Thank you. I love you.
Love you too, then.
And that would be a 13.
13. So with a 13, you really don't get much. You do see the hidden rocky path that would take you up the mesa and onto the top. Mm-hmm. But beyond that, even with what the Elven Warriors told you, you still can't find that supposed secret entrance, but you think that this Dragonborn warrior that you've run into may be able to just literally lead you there if you wanted to go there. You scout around the mesa, kind of do your due diligence, and pretty much exactly as the elves have told you, it doesn't seem like they have any guards on the ground, because one, they're just kind of counting on nobody really knows we're here.
Yeah.
And two, again, the only people who seem to know are those who are, in the know. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's just very quiet. You do at one point kind of sense that rumbling that the elves were speaking of, but without actually going inside, it's difficult to tell what it is.
Okay. Is it a very, faint trembling of the earth, or is it a full-on, shuddering?
At this point, it's more of a trembling.
Okay.
It's not major earthquake by any sense, but it is definitely strange vibrations. But Yeah, after a while, you go back to your designated meeting place where you do see this particular dragonborn is just kind of hunkered down. Well, they're invisible, but you can sense that they're there because of it's your magic.
Yeah. I kind of whisper over to them, okay, what did you see? Anything?
Nothing of interest. The
Okay.
smooth skins have dug themselves firmly in.
So, we ran into some people who said there's, like, a secret lower entrance.
Yes, I can take you there.
Okay. Let's meet back up with my people, and then take us there.
Smoothskins?
Yes. We can trust them. They can help us free your people and get you the Mesa back, potentially.
Until I am shown otherwise, I will believe you.
All right, let's head back. And so I keep my invisibility up for a bit, leaving little tiny marks into the dirt so that they can, like, follow me.
Yeah, and invisibility lasts, what, an hour?
An hour.
Yeah, so after a while, after the two of you kind of get far enough away from the mesa, then,
It'll drop.
Yeah, it does drop, and you two of you do see one another again. So two of you start to head back. Meanwhile, the four of you, our original four map makers, have just captured one man who was part of the caravan that was taking supplies to the mesa. You have him tied up, and he looks up at you all and asks in a very nervous voice, well, what do y'all want to know?
I leave the questioning to Gideon, but after securing the cart, Moran goes out to the road and starts to pull the couple of dead bodies, like, back over to the scrub as well.
So, first off, guess what's your name?
I'm Nathaniel.
Nathaniel, what do you do here for this group inside the Mesa?
I'm a delivery driver.
How long have you been doing that?
20 years. He's not a young man.
Oh, no, but I mean for them.
For these folk?
Right.
Different teams have been bringing stuff up, nigh on the last 6 months.
All right. They pay well?
They pay us pretty well with a little extra to keep our mouths shut.
Yeah. Where do you get these supplies?
Well, there's a mining town not too far down, and it gets a lot of its stuff from the dwarven forts. You know, the trains that come out and disperse goods across the frontier.
So this goods from Fort Russian Water?
Some of it, yeah.
How do you come across? Do you just get the supplies, or do you actually, are you part of the people that purchases these supplies to bring out?
Well, yes, sir. We're a legitimate company on the up and up.
Right. Outside of this mining town. Is
Yes,
that
sir.
a dwarven mining town, or is that a human mining town?
I mean, you know, I think it was originally established by the dwarves, but, you know, people come out looking for work.
So what kind of supplies are you bringing in?
Just your general survival, food, water, strangely enough, sailcloth.
Say that again?
Sailcloth.
Sailcloth, like a boat.
I guess. I mean, I can't imagine why. I mean, you might be using it more for tops, but...
Well, I think that's what I say. Did you not think something weird that we're out in the desert and you're bringing in things for ship sails?
I told you so. They've paid us quite a lot not to ask many questions.
All right. Well, who hired you?
We're hired out by some lady. Serafina?
Attractive woman, from what I understand, right?
Well, I mean, my wife might take offense to me saying so, but yes, she's a fine woman to look at.
Do you have a wife?
Well, yes, sir.
Kids?
Yes, sir.
What race is he?
Half orc, half human.
Well, Nathaniel, thank you for answering my questions. What do you know about what's going on inside of that mesa?
Well, we're just paid to bring the supplies in, bring them up to the top, and from there, whatever folks is in the mesa just take over from there. They unload the carts, and we haven't really seen whatever's down in there.
Right. Is there some way to people there know you from friend or foe?
They gave us a passphrase, "Hail to the sunburned throne."
All right. So, Nathaniel, problem is it's going to be really hard to let you go, but I also don't want any harm to come to you because I don't want to not get you back to your wife and kids.
I wish the same could be said for my friends.
One of the reasons I went over to one, to get them off the road just in case, but two, I wanted to see if there was by chance any life, and so Moran sighs a little bit as he checks one and then the other, and then drags the bodies off to the thing. After that, the conversation still continue with Gideon. I'll check out the cart as well. But
So you must search them, see if they have any kind of...
yeah. Do they have anything of interest on them? Anything special?
Yeah,
quote, unquote?
not really. I mean, you find like one guy's got a locket with like pictures.
So I'm doing that.
Do you know Wiley smokes Moran?
The outlaw?
The outlaw.
I mean, I've heard of him. I know he's a dangerous man. I know that there's quite a bounty on his head.
Well, would it surprise you to know that that's who you were working for?
He has a very shocked expression.
And we have been sent here to hunt him down. And I am sorry for your friends, but sometimes things happen. I don't want the same thing to happen to you, Nathaniel. I want you to go on and have a good, long life. But I can't just be letting you go and running off and telling people.
Oh, no, sir. I'll keep very quiet. I promise.
I'd like you to meet a friend of mine here. This is Dream Fox.
Dream Fox kind of like looms over. And it's a wild elf, right? Mm-hmm. They have a bit of a reputation sometimes. And so he does that little like jump, like the intentionally trying to scare somebody. And yeah, you do see Nathaniel like, oh!
My friend Dreamin' Fox is going to keep an eye on you whilst we go and do what we need to do. I don't want you to cause any trouble. Well, Dreamin' Fox is going to make sure you're fed, make sure you got plenty of water out here. You're going to be fine. You just listen, you behave, no trouble will happen.
Oh, no trouble at all, sir. I promise. I promise.
Right. Do we have any other questions we'd like to ask?
Did any of these guys that I checked, do they have any type of badge or insignia or like passcode written on a slip of paper? And then how about checking out the cart? Is there enough time to do that while Gideon's...
Yeah, but you got plenty of time while Gideon's just doing his thing.
Dang it. Well, it's not terrible. It's modified 12.
Modified 12. Kind of as I said before, other than you do see like this expanse of like sailcloth and like some other... Some of it doesn't necessarily make sense as to like why, but most of it, just seems to be pretty general provisions and provisos. You find one small box that kind of opening up, there's a lot of random stuff in it. Straight up as a sorcerer, you recognize this as being like spell components.
Oh. And of course that compared with the sailcloth makes me maybe think of Jasper Smithson.
A little bit.
Yep.
Is there anything that sets them apart as far as appearance than what we are just normally wearing? In other words, no uniforms or something specific that...
Not really. I mean, it seems like... So these are caravan guys working out in the frontier. Mm-hmm. So they have kind of like these mishmashed bits of armor that they've all kind of put together over the years from their different experiences of bandits, monsters. Basically, kind of think, it's like Wells Fargo guys, right? Back during the frontier. Mm-hmm. Rough Riders, literally just guys doing a job wearing what they have found is effective for what they're trying to do.
Exactly. So just cowmen, just raiders. Okay. I look over at everybody else and I say, what do you guys think? Do we head out tonight or do we...
Mockram pops his head out. When were they expecting delivery?
Nathaniel?
Well, I mean, with the sun being down, they would have normally expected the delivery. Well, we were headed that way, so they would have expected it before sundown, but with it being sundown now, normally we would wait until morning just in case, because the road up the mesa is a bit treacherous if you're not familiar with the terrain.
Zonimus, I noticed how shocked that guy was at seeing about Wiley. What if we let him go ahead and deliver and then get away, and then we're coming up around the secret entrance? You think we have any chance of trusting him to be all right, or you think he'd be tied to Wiley?
I do not want to risk it at all, especially if he's threatened. He'd break too easily. No.
And also, he was supposed to show up with 2 escorts.
He had 3 other guys he was going to show up with. If he doesn't show up with those 3 guys, they're going to ask, hey, where's the rest of your team? And he's going to be like,
I don't know,
yeah, we got stopped on the road, and there were some bandits who freaking murdered my guys. Hey, they're about to walk up right after me. Kill them.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So
and Mockran's naivete is again like, oh.
We need to wait for Konnor to come back from the scouting and go either still under cover of darkness right before the morning or just in the morning with the caravan.
Poppy needs a long rest. She has no wild shapes left. She has no 4th level spells left.
If we go in, if we're going without sleep, we're going in a little underpowered.
Let's wait for Konnor. Greetings and salutations, my friends. I'm Michael Cross. So great to have a moment to talk with you during this mid-show break. First off, I want to invite you all to join us as Patreon members. The money we raise helps us pay for things like the music and sound effects you hear on the show, as well as money to go to events and make new fans. When you become a Patreon member, you get our episodes 4 days early, bonus content, access to our Discord server, and full versions of our roundtable discussions. You'll be joining other fans like Scott Wise, Don Mills, Heath Mormon, and the Lady Kate. So join us right now at patreon.com/reddirtdnd. Another way to support us is by getting your very own Red Dirt merchandise. You can find things like hats, hoodies, mugs, and t-shirts. Just click on the merch tab at reddirtdnd.com or reddirtrpg.com. Since 2020, the Red Dirt D&D podcast has been close to another Oklahoma actual play Dungeons & Dragons podcast, D20 to Curtain. And me personally, I've had a chance to work on stage with some of the actors on the show. So when you get done with this episode, you should check them out.
Hello, fellow D&Ders. My name is Jerome.
I'm Jennifer. I'm Jody.
And together with our friends Kara, Timothy, and Jared, we are the cast of the D20 to Curtain podcast, where Oklahoma theater geeks and their friends hit record and explore our new addiction to Dungeons & Dragons.
We think D&D is more than just a game. It helps us tap into the enduring power of storytelling.
We combine live gameplay with behind-the-curtain episodes to share our experiences, insights, habits, discoveries, and passion for D&D with anyone who will listen.
We hope D20 to Curtain will make you laugh, cry, maybe even make your experience at your table even more satisfying. Check us out anywhere you listen to podcasts or visit us at d20tocurtain.com or at D20 to Curtain on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
We look forward to having you. All we ask is that you have fun, be kind, and play the role.
If you're looking for more content, make sure to check out our YouTube page with Mysteries of Beatrix live every Wednesday. Keys from the Golden Vault from the Red Dirt Outlaws dropping every Tuesday at noon, and Plausible Deniability every other Thursday at 7 p.m. So come check it out at youtube.com/@RedDirtRPG or search for Red Dirt RPG on YouTube. And we would love to hear from you. Find us on social media at Red Dirt RPG. You can also get in touch with us through our website at reddirtrpg.com. In the meantime, make sure and subscribe to this podcast and leave a comment on your favorite podcatcher so others can find us. All right, I think that's everything I need to tell you. Right now, let's head back to Red Dirt D&D.
As night falls and the stars of the frontier come out, the crickets and other night insects slowly begin to sing. You hear the rustle of grass, and appearing is a very familiar, small, adorable brass kobold.
Konnor, so good
hi.
to make it back. How was everything?
Good. I brought a friend. Don't be surprised. Come out. And I motioned for behind me from, I guess, the same bush.
And emerging out of the scrubland is a green dragonborn.
Greetings, friend. You are welcome here. I'm a friend of Konnor's, certainly a friend of ours. My name is Gideon Block. This is Macron, Poppy, Zonimus. I thought your kind had run off.
So he looks very confused.
Oh, no.
And he leans down to Konnor. What are they saying?
Oh, I quickly translate to him, and they want to know your name.
He looks up and he motions to himself, Bembe.
Bembe, that's their name.
Thank you, Konnor. Ask Benbei, female, male?
Male, as far as you can tell.
Ask Benbei to forgive my ignorance, but let him know that we are trying to find this entrance. Did you guys find anything about that?
Already on that, they're going to lead us to it.
Fantastic.
Or he's going to lead us to it.
So that takes us to the entrance. We ran into Nathaniel here. gave us a lot of information, but apparently he doesn't know much. He's mostly just a hired hand. They do have a passphrase to know friend from foe, which is hail to the sunburned throne. So something for all of us to remember. They were taking sails inside the mesa. Yeah. He was hired by Serafina. Now, the question is, they are probably expecting this caravan tomorrow morning. Nathaniel, do you think they would send out a searching party if you didn't show up?
I can't imagine they would. I mean, they might send a messenger to.
Most of they just figure you were delayed for some reason. There's not a definite schedule for you to show up.
I mean, we try to come, every couple of weeks.
Yeah, so that's what I needed to know.
As if to say, remember there are natural enemies that could have killed them instead of just us.
Or they just lose a wheel and they're off by a day or two.
Right,
I mean, they don't have to die. Well, they did, but...
Dysentery.
They didn't have to die, but...
Crossing the Great Mother River. Okay, I say we take a long rest throughout the day, hidden with everything way off the beaten track. I turn to Dreaming Fox. I say, Dreaming Fox, there's a lot of supplies in here. That might be useful for some of the tribe, as well as some horses, maybe some oxen.
Dreaming Fox will give a nod.
I would like to keep that little box of spell components and stuff, though.
Yeah.
I will.
Look at you sending things back to your family.
I will.
Spoils.
I will translate everything that's happening.
Bimbe, as soon as you kind of mention the secret entrance, translating through Konnor, will tell you that he knows where it is, and as Konnor has promised your assistance, he would be amicable to show you where it is.
Excellent.
And he can give you some other information about what the Dragonborn know about the place you're about to go into.
Could he make us a map? Because he definitely lived there?
He lived there for a time, but under the Dragonborn, is probably different, even though it's been a good 6 months since he's actually been inside the mesa.
General idea. Like how many floors and general...
He tells you from the top of the mesa to the bottom, there's kind of a hidden entrance. There is 4 layers. The Dragonborn had typically kind of hung out around from the top down in the 2nd and the 3rd, just because they had a difficult time getting down any farther.
The sneaky entrance would put us in at which level?
The 4th level, the very bottom. They had that entrance basically just kind of for emergencies because it was difficult to get down there.
The emergency exit.
Yeah.
In case the top caved in or something.
There's a great shaft that goes, as far as they know, it can go completely from the top to the very bottom.
Kind of like the center of...
Not quite the center, it's kind of offset to one side, but they could never quite figure out what it was because it's enclosed at the top.
Like an elevator, but without the elevator part?
Then they can't give you too terribly much, and again, he doesn't know what they're doing in there, because again, he hasn't been in there for a good, 6 months. He does know that not all of the tribe got out.
Does he seem like a younger...
Probably on the younger side.
Like he was, like on Titanic when they're like, do you qualify as a child? You're a 16-year-old boy. I would qualify you as a man. Like kind of a...
Yeah, kind of that weird, and again, it's also very difficult to tell because...
Dragonborn.
It's a Dragonborn.
They don't have wrinkles or anything.
You've never experienced a Dragonborn before, so you don't know what is an old Dragonborn like, what is a young Dragonborn like.
I only know that super, super old one. That's the only
reference that you have.
That one and the priestess lady who was timeless because magic.
Yes.
So
just from how quickly and easily he moves around, from just kind of the way he interacts with you, it seems like he's on the younger side, so maybe an equivalent of an 18-year-old. Not quite old enough to be an adult.
I just wonder...
But old enough to be trusted with responsibility.
I wonder if he was told to leave with the women and children when they evacuated, but he didn't want to. He wanted to fight, and so that's why he got kind of stuck outside. He didn't want to go to the font with the women and children, but he is not inside with the rest of the warriors. That was just my line of thinking.
Right. It's either that or maybe perhaps he came back just to keep an eye on things, just in case. I mean, it's difficult for you to say.
I look over at Dreaming Fox. I say, Dreaming Fox, could you scout around and see if you can find us a place where we can rest throughout
already got one.
Oh, great. I knew you would. I just wanted to clarify. Let's head there so we can rest up for the day, and then we can head out tomorrow night as sun is setting.
He leads you to kind of what seems to be a place where maybe like he and the other scouts have used before, because you do know that they've been keeping an eye on this area for a while. And, it's finally kind of gotten to the point where the chief thinks it's getting a little hairy. We probably just need to move on just for our own safety. So he kind of takes you to just a little sheltered area where you can get out of the wind. You can kind of start a little fire and the smoke isn't, as quite as visible. And he knows like some tricks.
Good.
He's an elven scout.
Yeah, keeping hidden in the land is kind of their thing.
That's his bread and butter.
So let's rest there and then head out tomorrow night. Are we still okay with going in the secret entrance?
Yes.
I say, Dreamin' Fox, if we, for some reason, do not return, I would say 72 hours. Head back. Once you're back in camp, let Nathaniel go. He has my protection. But the rest of it belongs to the tribe, including the horses and the oxen.
He gives a nod. I believe your mother will be amicable to that.
We will also leave the cart, Thistle, Buttercup, Thunderstep with this group. Poppy, it's now night, so you're no longer, as we're about to get ready to leave. What?
Oh, are we getting ready to leave right now? Do we fast forward?
We're kind of, is that okay? We're kind of...
Yeah, we can kind of hand wave, because really nothing would happen during the daytime that would really need to be addressed.
Good.
Just us napping.
It's kind of planning as we're going through.
Yeah, so planning throughout the day, and then the next evening you're having this conversation with Dreaming Fox about, in the case that we do not return, what you want to do with your belongings and stuff.
So the question is Wildfire.
Right. Okay, I would like to have a conversation with Wildfire before the long rest.
Okay.
So that I can use the spell but not have to have it stocked.
Sure.
So I'm going to just ritual cast Speak with Animals, and I'm going to explain to him I'm going into a very dangerous situation and I don't want you to get hurt, and you're not very sneaky.
His ears go back. Okay.
But you're so cute.
His ears perk up. Yeah.
And I don't want you to get hurt, and you're just going to have to stay. You're going to stay here with Dreamin' Fox for a couple days, and if something happens to me and I don't come back, you're a free creature. You're a free creature now. You know that. I don't make you hang out with me, but if you want to stay with the elves, you can stay with the elves. If you want to find your way back to the goblins, you can do that. If you want to just live like a lone wolf, obviously that's your body, your choice. But I just want you to know, if I don't come back, that I loved you very much, and the only reason I can't come back is because I'm not alive. I'm always gonna come back for you. And we have a little snuggle.
Yeah, but so you get that whole moment, when a dog is just like, they know you're upset, but they don't quite understand why. And so it's that whole snuggle up as close to you as they can, Wildfire's head is on your shoulder and just kind of nuzzle into you as close as possible.
He doesn't communicate in words necessarily, but I imagine it's I don't understand, but I trust your judgment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you get very much that outpouring of love that only an animal really can do in their very animal way, and you just get this one solid concept in your mind. Pack.
Oh, I'm his pick. Before we go, I guess the next day, I would just leave. I wouldn't put his saddle on him at all, because I have no intentions of riding him, and so he's just loose and free, and I get the things that I would use out of my pack, but everything else is going to go with them in the cart. And I would just, if we don't come back, Wildfire is a free man. He can do whatever he wants. If he wants to go back with you guys, he's a good dog. Maybe not a good herding dog, but he's a good playing dog. And I'm sure that Wild Dreamer would love him.
Wildfire kind of goes over to Dreaming Fox and just kind of comes around the back of him. And it's just that whole dog just kind of looking for comfort from wherever they can get it. Dreaming Fox just kind of leans down and ruffles between Wildfire's ears and just gives you a nod and says, "You will come back."
I know I will.
But if you don't, he's in good hands.
He really likes venison Doritos.
And you said it was about an hour out.
Give or take.
So we're talking about 5 miles or so, right?
Give or take.
Okay.
Sure.
So
that was in my head.
Yeah. Well, you usually walk about 5 miles an hour ish. I go over to.
I have little tiny legs.
Well, we're not hurrying We're not gonna run. But I figure about an hour still. I'm going to go over to Thunderstep and explain what's going on. And if we're not back in 72 hours, then we have not made it. Make sure if we don't make it back, find Wild Dreamer, keep her safe, and keep the rest of this group safe.
Thunderstep will give you a whinny, toss her head, very proud, but she just kind of gives you a nudge, like, go do your thing.
All ready to go?
Konnor, still want to run with us
Yeah.
into this?
Sure. I've got ways of getting out. Do you?
You were just looking for a place to hide, I bet you.
Yeah, well, things have changed.
All right. Well, let's head out then.
Yeah.
Well, my friends, as the sun begins to set on the frontier once more, the 5 of you, plus the dragonborn Bembe, begin heading towards the mesa. You know that you will be facing Wiley on what has become his home turf. Yes, you have some insider knowledge, but you have no clue what awaits you. What challenge will arise? Do or die. Those are your only choices.
Red Dirt D&D Tales from the Caliban Frontier is Ash King as our Dungeon Master, Brooke Bullock as Macron Stoneshaper, Johnny Payne as Zonimus Dinar, Kiri Hester as Poppy Tealeaf, and I'm Michael Cross as Gideon Block. Our theme music was created by the cinemagician P.J. Castillo. Our incidental music comes from Jeffrey McBride. Our sound effects and additional music courtesy of Monument Studios, Andrew Sitkov, and TabletopAudio.com. We here at Red Dirt D&D could really use your help in getting the word out about us. If you like what you've heard, make sure to rate us and leave a comment. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and RedDirtDND.com. Tell your friends about Red Dirt D&D and share us on social media. And we have new content on our YouTube and Twitch pages. Just search for Red Dirt D&D. You can also support the show at patreon.com/RedDirtDND. We have several giving levels, including early listening to shows and access to our Discord server. Join us next time as we go deeper into the Caliban Frontier.
And we had seen the red one before, just briefly.
Was this like a few years ago?
Zonimus, how long ago was it?
How long ago were you left for dead?
Maybe 9 months-ish before the meetup.
Okay, so go back.
That's okay.
What race is he?
Can't just ask somebody what race they are.
I'm asking the DM what my bare eyes see.
Hail to the sunburned throne.
All right. Zonimus, you were looking like you might have something to ask as well.
I did, but they got covered.
Yeah, you had that look on your face, so I decided to.
Yeah. No, my look on my face was when he's like, yeah, I got a wife, I got kids, I got things you can use against me to get me to help you or do whatever you need.
See, in my...
You went there, okay.
That's where I went. You gotta think like a criminal.
I know. See, I went the other way. I was like,
You should let me go because I have
He's got
a
wife and
family.
kids.
Nope, I went, leverage. Don't look at my browser history.
You're on a few watch lists.
It's just, I'm a writer.
I wish the same could be said for my friends.
Oh.
Speaking
My
of,
people of the Mesa.
As Makran
as
is
Malcolm was
pulling
dragging
over
bodies
the,
over, are they?
What
The
friends are you
bodies.
talking about? Oh, those friends.
drag.
Well, hey, I say err on the side of caution. Anyone associated with that Mesa is a
That's
bad
where-
guy.
yeah, that's-
I'm
that-
killing your dragonborn when it shows up, too.
Guess you get a shank to your kidneys then.
Like one guy's got a locket with like pictures.
One has a card from his son saying, "Come home soon, Daddy," with like little stick figures.
Don't forget to give me that souvenir, asshole.
Another one
Have
has
fun at work, Dad.
Another one has a lock of hair with a ribbon around it saying, "We'll get married when you return."
I mean, yeah, there just seem to be
Whose side are you on?
It's almost like people have lives and loved ones.
It was three guys,
Just doing their job.
hard-working caravaneers.
You should vet your clients better. They're trying to destroy the world.
Yeah.
They were getting paid to do a job and getting paid well.
They were just following orders.
Off the record, a little help deciphering my notes here, friends. I have Fortunato connected to Serafina. We know
Yes.
that Serafina was the daughter of the head engineer.
The airship engineer, yeah.
Yeah, was that Fortunato?
Fortunato is the orc thug that was hanging out with Wiley.
Nope.
No. Fortunato was wizardly and always wore a hood.
Yeah, we just heard
No.
a name drop. We don't know much about
Okay.
Fortunato.
It's just a question mark name here.
Oh, the orc thug. Sorry, this is my notes. The orc thug told us about Fortunato.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what my notes mean.
Let's wait for Konnor.
Right after these commercial messages.
And now, a message from our sponsor.
How do you spell relief?
Are you tired?
LA ideas.
Itchy? Irritable?
Maybe you need a long rest.
Smoke Chesterfields. It increases your T levels.
Chesterfields. Mom likes them. Dad likes them. Even little Susie.
Is a green dragonborn.
Does 21 hit it?
John.
It would.
Macron, Poppy, Zonimus.
Rawr.
Are you still Barry?
I am still Barry. Listen, I milked that wild shape. If I don't have to change back, I'm getting my full 4 hours.
You get 4 hours there.
Bembe.
Bembe.
B-E-M-B-E.
I spelled that one right on the first try.
B-E-M as in Mary. B. No, it was
Bembe.
way off.
Bembe.
B-E-M-B-E. Yeah, it was way off.
B-E-M-B-E. Bembe.
From
Is that something fun and draconic?
Yes.
Steve.
Carl.
Carl.
That kills people, Carl.
That's what I was thinking.
I watched that the other day.
Yeah, I want to rewatch that. It's been a while.
Dog just kind of looking for comfort from wherever they can get it.
It's like the part at the Fox and the Hound where she has to leave him in the woods.
If we don't make it, check out Wild Dancer.
Wild Dreamer?
Dang it.
Wild dancer.
You guys have any heartfelt goodbyes you need to make?
Konnor?
If we don't make it back, here's your bag.
Thanks.
Mechanically, if we get to day 3 and we haven't gotten out, but we aren't dead, I'll stalk Animal Messenger that day and send a message back with a mouse or something saying we're not dead.
2 days. 2 more days.
We're not dead. Send help.
Really happy.
Yeah.
I think I'll go for a walk.
You're not fooling anyone, you know.
Do or die. Those are your only choices.
We'll get out of there. That's perfect.
What about where
Abort.
we tried to
Why
do, but we don't?
And we just get the
walk
stuff
in.
and then leave. What about that plan?
We're all sneaking toward it, and Zonimus is walking the other way. Where'd Zonimus go? No.